Here we are. You in the black t-shirt? Shut the fuck up. As you know, the beer and wine you've got to buy, which is all going towards the very good cause of the Road Crew Association and under the facilitation of Support Act. And I'd like to thank everybody for coming along, and it's great to see some old faces. It's been a bit embarrassing. I haven't recognised a few of you. Some of you look really, really fucking old, and some of you look really, really young. It's quite confusing, really. I'm not sure, it might be the water up around Louisdale or somewhere. Stuart's done a great book. He came to me about a year ago and said he wanted to do the book, and I thought it'd be a good idea, and Stuart's done a good job with a lot of books, and I tipped him into a couple of roadies who I knew would hate the idea, and they actually embraced it, and of course everybody else has got involved. And I haven't read it yet, but I hear the feedback, I've seen the feedback, and it's really, really wonderful that something has been written finally. And you know, I know that a few people have tried disastrous television shows and shit, but at least it's now in your fucking words, not some arsehole from Channel What's Your Face or wherever. So enjoy the lunch. Buy lots of booze, because it's all helping pay the bills and keeping everybody in as good a shape as we can. And Clive and Support Act, you've done a wonderful job, Stuart. This was a great idea that you brought to us. Have a great day. Now, there's a legend that all Tasmanians have two heads, and we do. I still have the scar, but the next guest cut his off when he was about a day old. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the great guitarists, please welcome Mr. Phil Manning.
Hey, how you doing? Some small town on my way back on down south. Stuck in some back street on my way back on down south. And the weather don't suit my clothes. As the wind begins to howl, hear that wind howl. Yeah. dogs are barking, and they just won't let me sleep. I think I'll go out on the highway, hitch a ride before it gets hot. I think I'll go out on the highway, hitch a ride maybe in a big old truck. I might get there tomorrow. Oh, but then again, I might just not. I am a weary traveler. I am a weary traveler. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just doing 2 songs, and it's going to be a great afternoon. I can see that sticking out. It's just so great to catch up with so many people. So I'm going to do a new song that I haven't got around to recording yet. Hopefully I'll get around to recording it soon. There are places from my younger days I can go in my mind, somewhere I can be alone, dream of another time. Now I am older, so I'm told. I don't count the minutes, the hours, and the ways we change to the future. That's the truth. Move away from our younger days. Snow-lined hills, evenings, freezing rain, up to my knees, but I didn't feel alone. With a couple of friends on a mutton grass plain, trying to find our way back home. I'm told I don't count the minutes, the hours, and the ways we change to the future. That's the truth. We move away from our younger days. These memories from the past, may they never go away. Here I go, making more today. Hay baling in a summer field, a copperhead tried to drive me away. It bit my leg, but I didn't get killed. It had no fangs in its latter days. Now I'm older, maybe wiser. I don't minutes, the hours and the ways we change to the future. That's the truth as we move away from our younger days. You travel wide, you travel places. Anyway, you end up somewhere. Maybe there's no destination. Maybe there's no need to care. Now I am older, so I'm told. I don't count the minutes, the hours and the ways we change to the future. That's the truth. We move away from our younger days. Now I am older, so I'm told. I don't count the minutes, the hours and the ways we change to the future. That's the truth as we move away from our younger days. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Phil Manning, ladies and gentlemen, give it up, please.
I should let you know, if anyone needs support act, they will look after you. Their phone number is 1300 731 303. Get it off me later if you need it. It's a different number that's on these. That's actually their wellbeing helpline, which was launched in June. I don't know if you know about that one. If you don't want to go in, if you don't need help, if you financial help, if you just need to talk to someone about mental health issues anonymously, you can ring up that helpline. Was funded by Alberts and Levi's. They put the money together to get that going, so you can get, or if you know someone that needs help, give them that number there. You can speak anonymously about all of that. We are here today to launch a book about the Australian Roadies and to acknowledge and recognise the work that they do. As a stand-up comedian, I don't get the luxury of roadies fairly often. We don't even get fallback normally. We carry our own shit in. They're a strange creature, the roadies, aren't they? They're unique. They survive on nothing but alcohol and amphetamines. They work 17 hours a day, and they're ninja-like, where they've got a unique set of skills. They can operate digital equipment, and they can stand on stage in front of 10,000 people and be invisible. In fact, there's 3 roadies on stage with me right now. I did have one opportunity in 20 years of performing to have a road crew. I was on tour with an English fella by the name of Mr. Methane. You might not be familiar with him. If you're not, he farts for a living. He can fart tunes, impersonations. He can shoot a dart out of his arse and pop a balloon on someone's head. Quite amazing. On that national tour, we did a show at a wonderful venue in the casino, the Mercury Lounge. And for some reason, we had to go there in the afternoon for a sound check. We were getting levels on his arse or something, I don't know. We're in there in the afternoon, and the in-house sound guy was pissing himself laughing. I said, "What are you laughing for, mate? You've seen this guy on telly, you know what he does. Why are you finding it so funny?" He said, "I'm not laughing at what he's doing. I'm laughing at the fact that we've got Kylie Minogue playing here next week, and we're going to give her the same microphone he's had shoved up his arse." It's enough from me, folks. I think we'll get the ball rolling. I'd like to introduce to the stage the author of the book, Mr. Stuart Coupe. He's going to come up. He's going to get a panel up of Roadies. He'll introduce them. So please welcome to the stage, Mr. Stuart Coupe.
Well, this is one gig where I know there won't be any sound problems. And things will be easily fixed. Thank you all very much for coming. This is fantastic to see a whole bunch of people I haven't seen for a long time. See everybody together, and also see a lot of the characters that are in the Roadies book. Before I introduce the illustrious panel that we have, I actually want to just acknowledge Adrian Anderson, who's here today. Adrian, where are you? A couple of years ago, when I was working on my book about Michael Gudinski, which I'll say was unauthorised before he yells it out, Adrian was helping me with a lot of information about the Melbourne music scene in the late 60s and early 70s. which I didn't know that much about. And in the course of that, he told me about the Australian Road Crew Association, which I'd never heard of before. And then he told me about a lot of the reasons, the mental health issues and reasons that ARCA was put together. And it was because of Adrian and that conversation that I started to wonder, you know, what were road crews really all about? I'd worked with bands in the 80s, managing the Gurus and Paul Kelly and stuff. I'd worked with crews, but increasingly I realised I didn't know anything. I really didn't know about the ingenuity, the smarts, the cleverness, the lateral thinking. You know, I guess I had a bit of an inkling of the hard work, but I was one of those managers who said, Toowoomba to Canberra, 8 hours, easy, off you go. Mainly because I'd never done it and I had absolutely no idea. So thank you very much, Adrian Anderson, for starting this. So I'd like to introduce some of the luminaries that I'm pretty sure you all know that are in the book. One of the great delights was meeting unquestionably the world's first female roadie, someone who worked with AC/DC when she was 16 and 17 years of age, Tana Douglas, who's out here from Los Angeles. And someone I've known for many years, usually because he's been driving a car that I've been in the back seat of, but he's also a very illustrious road crew member, Jeff Lloyd. One of the real legends of Australian road crew, and someone I'm very proud to now call a friend. I'm going to help him with his book, because look, I wrote this because no one else, no other road crew except for Ron Clayton with his book about 50 years, working with TMG had done a book. I'm hoping this book inspires a whole bunch of other road crew to tell their stories. One person is working on one, and it is Ross Ferguson. And another person that I spent a lot of time with talking about the whole gamut of the road crew experience. He's heard Mother Goose's song about baked beans more than probably anyone outside of the people in the band. Mike Emerson. And when I started this book, you know, people have said to me, how did you get road crew to talk to you? Because they usually only talk to each other. And I think it's kind of like I adopted the Sopranos approach. If you want to be accepted, you get to know Tony. And then when you turn up in a restaurant and they say, who sent you? You say Tony, and they say, come in, where would you like to sit? I went to the great Australian roadie, again, who's someone I'm proud to call a friend now. He helped me immeasurably right throughout the whole process. You know him, Howard Freeman.
What's going on? What are they doing out there?
Staff have found a small package of white powder out in the foyer. If it's yours, the bar staff are hanging it on to it for you.
Ooh, it's live. Before we actually start this shit fight, there's some reality checks here. There's two guys in this room. Without them, none of us, not a single fucking one, would have had a job. To Michael Gudinski and Michael Chuck, thank you for taking the chance of burning millions of dollars for no apparent reason, apart from employing some acts that were sort of okay and some genius crew, and most of you are here. So here's our thanks to them for having that shot. And for Michael Koppel for turning up later, thanks to him as well. Thank you to all promoters. We owe you for our living. God bless you.
And I think someone else that we should probably acknowledge that he's a very significant part of my book is also the contribution of Eric Robinson to crewing it. Now I'm going to sit on Howard's knee, that's how it works. So, Tanner Douglas, what attracted you to this world?
Sorry boys, but it wasn't the good-looking men. I was really quite young and I was invited down to my first ever show in a club at the Whiskey, and there was a chap there by the name of Wayne Swampy Jarvis. And and he took the time to show me stuff, and that sort of piqued my curiosity. And from that point on, it was like, I like this. What? You get to travel, you get paid, and you get to listen to live music. It's like, well, what more could you want? And then shortly after that, someone else came along, which was Ada. And he actually is the first man that hired me for a band called Fox. So, and it was just off and running from that point on. I think everyone figured, just leave her alone, she'll go away eventually. But it didn't happen because everyone just, they took me under their wing and they were just great. They teach me. They knew I wanted to learn, so they'd show me the right way. And as it progressed, there's people like Peter Wilson, Nikki Kumo, there's lots of people out here that are here today that just actually enabled me to continue doing it. I don't think just getting the start is necessarily that hard. I think being able to continue and keep learning and improve and then progress, that's the trick.
I think we have a round of applause for Peter Wilson.
While we're thanking people, let's thank
Chris Rogers,
who's been part of this industry all his life, and he couldn't make it today because he's actually got a job. Who would have thought somebody close to 70 has a gig? Scrooge Madigan, ladies and gentlemen.
Jeff Lloyd, what dragged you into it?
I think just the fun aspect.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of fun. I was getting sick of selling grass, so I thought I could use a real job, and I got a real job, and it was a lot of fun. And you met a lot of really great people. And for all the put downs and the shit you get and the lack of sleep, it's just a lot of fun, and they were really good people, and I just kept getting nicer and nicer people in my life. And the money was a big draw card. Lessons in frugality. You got food, didn't you? Obviously.
But Fergie, you like everyone, you got into it very, very young. You were a teenager. You were 16, 17?
17, yeah. I think anyone that got into this, because, I was married too, by the way. I had to go to court to get permission to get married because I was under the legal age. But, you've got to try everything young. So, I think anyone here, the thing that really attracts us is a love of music. If you don't love music, you're not going to survive. I love the blues. I tried hitting drums in a few bands, and this man actually informed me once when he was trying to teach me to play bass that Fergie, you're one of the few people who's got absolutely no fucking rhythm. So I was never going to be a musician, and my mate was going to the Battle of the Bands, and I had a panel van, and that was it. I discovered that this was where I wanted to be, and it's where I spent most of my life.
Mike Henderson, you were a music fan, living in Auckland. I know that you were in Dunedin, weren't you?
Dunedin, yeah.
Dunedin, and travelling to Auckland.
Dunedin, yeah. I mean, when you grow up many people think Melbourne is not necessarily the end, but it's a launching place. But when you're in Dunedin, Melbourne just seems a world away, and it is. But when you're not getting on with your dad and all that kind of stuff, and you just want to get the hell out of there. And so I did, with the help of a fairly wacky band. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, we had some fun. The Supercharged tour was really good. And you remember that? Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah, so it's just escapism, getting out of your not necessarily very happy teenage years, I think, more than anything else, and the opportunity to work with great musos.
So, if we do tend to wander off a little bit, forgive us. We've never looked at lights before from this angle. We're usually stuck over here on the side, and because of our age group and our demographic, there's a few cells fucking missing, quite seriously. My story was that my father and grandfather were dance promoters in Melbourne, which is the last two generations of Freemans that were any good at it. And at 15 I had to pay for drum kits, so I had to go and work for my old man wearing a dinner suit, taking tickets from old punters at a ballroom dance in Collins Street at the Masonic Ballroom. And I went, this is shit. You know, but it got me away. And when he opened a jazz dance in the Q Civic Centre, it was an amazing way to look at chicks that were just a little bit older you could fantasise about and go home with some money in your pocket. What a glorious lifestyle. And that's where I found one. And it's been a hell of a long time. Seems just like yesterday, darling. God bless you.
I mean, Tana, the essential characteristics that make a great crew person. I mean, on one level it looks really unattractive. I mean, the hours are stupid, you know, an 18-hour day is an easy day. You know, there's an enormous amount of moving gear, setting up gear, the never or rarely great hotels. You know, there's a lot not to like. What keeps people doing it?
It's like you get this camaraderie, you get this reliance, you know, and you get this support. You're prepared to do anything to actually meet that deadline and put the show on because you know the person next to you, you can trust them and they're going to have your back, and likewise you're going to have theirs, you know. And, you know, I think the musicians are coming around as well, more and more. They realise that there can't be that separation, you know, that we all have to sort of all work together, you know. And, you know, they go on for an hour, 2 hours, and make it great, you know, and what they get is that we rely on them to do that because we've been there for like 12 hours. So, you know, they do their bit, we do our bit, and at the end of it, it's just a beautiful thing, you know. But it's all about, to me, why I mean, I will pick a good crew over a famous band every time. If I've got an excellent crew here and the tour's not so great, but I've got someone who is like, I really love that, but the crew sucks. Sorry. Sometimes it does, you know. I'll go with the crew every time, and that's been my whole career.
The ones that suck are really American.
The ones that, no, you know what it is. The ones that suck don't last. You know, that's the thing. You know, well, there is that. You know, it's different everywhere, and you know what? It's truly. I mean, I cherish my Australian upbringing in this industry. I really do, and I speak about it any chance I can get because it just was special. And still to this day, you send an Australian crew person over, they're going to get swooped up in a heartbeat because we've got a different outlook. You know, we don't have these boundaries and no, I don't do that, you do that. You know, so it's just a wonderful thing, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess this is a general question to all of you, in terms of how appreciated or unappreciated you've felt over the years. I mean, when I was researching this book early on, I was watching, I think, an ARIA telecast, and I heard Neil Finn thank his crew. And the fact that I stopped and paid attention made me realise that I hadn't heard that very often. And then over the last couple of months, I've seen Paul Kelly play a couple of times, and he's making a point of going, you know, doing the guitars is, front of house is, monitors is. And it caused me to think that, you know, over, you know, 4 decades of me watching shows, bands will tend to thank, you know, their cat, their girlfriend, their girlfriend's girlfriend, their manager, their record label, everybody but their crew. I mean, did you feel over the years that maybe there wasn't enough credit given to all the work you put in?
Yes. It's not why you do it, and you know there are occasions, and when Neil did it, it was very special. I was not even moved to get off the couch and applaud. But it's at the end of a pub gig, it's not like they're going to get up and thank the crew and everybody. There's a time and a place for it, and it's just being undervalued. I think it depended what band you're with. I've been very fortunate in most of the bands that I've been with that. That's what I say. I was with them. I didn't work for them. And that's the beauty of it, because you're part of a mobile thing. You're 15 of your best friends for 12 months or more. Well, no, they chose me.
Absolutely, but that was the journey. If you got on with a good group of people, the band was family, the crew was family. When you tour for 10 months a year and you live in a rotten, stinking fucking bus going around the planet, you spend 24 hours a day with 6 or 8 or 10 individuals, or 2 or 3, whatever your crew numbers are. And if you don't get on, and if you don't embrace, and you don't form a family bond, it's going to hell. Somebody's going to get spent on the hot hell tonight or lose a sight.
You hear him, Miss Golsey?
So that's why it's family, and that's why this is family, and that's why people have come out today to thank them and raise money for people that look after family that need a bit of help. Good on them.
It's a band. I have to honestly say that in my career, the band have taken care of me. They've given me much more than I ever took. There were so many times when I should have been put in the too hard basket, be it because I've visited every hospital in the planet, or because of my bipolar or my weird personality. They stuck by me, and I think this is the nature of the music industry. People say that they don't value their crew. I think they do. I remember saying to Kirk once, "How about putting our name on the album cover for a change?" And he went, "Why?" And I went, "Because it would mean a really lot to us, our kids could see where we were, for one thing." And he went, "Yeah, that's true, Okay, so it's not, I don't think with bands a lot of the time it's that they don't care. It's just that they're very focused on performing, and the pressures on bands are fucking incredible. Everyone loves them as long as they've got a hit album. They haven't got a hit album, they're gone. And so are their crew if they don't pay them enough money. So I think the bands do appreciate us. I just think they're like parents who really love their kids but don't know how to express it.
Tony, you mentioned Spocky Jarvis. Who, for all of you, who were some of your mentors? Who were because there were no courses in those days. There was nothing. You learnt on the road, and you were told once, and don't ask to be told again. Is how I understand it.
I just want to say.
I'd have to say Mickey Campbell and Billy McCartney taught me the ethics and the work skills. My father taught me to work no matter whether someone was watching or not, but they taught me how to apply that to the music industry. And one other man who taught me one of the most important things that you need to survive in this industry, and you need to be kept on even if you weren't the greatest tech, which I wasn't. I don't know why they fucking kept me on sometimes, as a raving lunatic. But one man taught me that humour, given the right circumstances, can alleviate tiredness, heartbreak, drug use, anything. And that man is here. Okay? Here.
Yeah, an example of this is with AC/DC very early on, not being recognised as a female crew person. The Sudbury show that didn't happen, AC/DC, we didn't have playing, but trying to get onto the stage, I would never have made it backstage at Sunbury without this man and Scrooge. What did I hear? I'm talking to the security guy who's got me down at the fence. The stage stairs are there and they're up there, and I didn't even see them. And I'm going, no, I'm really supposed to be. And all of a sudden I hear, yeah, fuck it, hey, yeah, she's with them. Get off, leave her alone. I look up and there they are, the two of them. And the security guy looks up and goes, okay.
That's because we had something really heavy to move, and the two of us couldn't do it by ourselves. God bless her. And the guy we told to fuck off was Tom Joe, and you didn't do that readily every day of your life either. Next.
Jeff, who were your mentors? I mean, you came from Perth and stuff, you know.
I'm from Victoria.
You were
I work for a Perth band. That can drag you back a bit.
So who were the people that taught you, you know, that you learned from and watched in action?
Once again, Howard's one, the Skyhawks crew, Jiver, Darcy, Spy Matthews, you know, you just watch people doing stuff and all of a sudden you get kicked up the arse because you're late, you know, so you're never late again. It's just, there's people like that, and because you wanted to be a part of it, you took notice and picked up your game and become part of it. And look how beautiful it's become.
And you learn quickly. You know, you learn quickly. You were told something, you learned quickly. Because you knew if you didn't get it right quickly, there's someone else who wants to do that. You know, in those days, there really was. And so you listen. I mean, I just listened to everything I could, you know, and it kind of got to be a bit of a joke actually with when I went to work with Neil Diamond here in Australia before I left. They had that thing called the Mobius, that big hat thing. It looked like a big sombrero with a centre left structure on it, and everyone hated it. So Neil hires me directly to work for them. Patrick Stansfield actually hires me directly, and he goes, "So your job's the Mobius," and I'm like, "Oh, okay. What's that?" You know? He says, "Can you do that?" I went, "Yeah, I could do that." And then I heard the horror stories from the Stones tour, how it was taking them like 12 hours to get it up and 14 hours to get it down. It's like, well, we don't have that long. So I actually managed to shave off 6 hours off the setup and 7 hours off the loadout. And Stansfield's like, "Cool, we want to keep you." So that's how it is. You just look and listen and break it down into bite-sized pieces, you know, and off you go, you run. But you can't say, "Oh no, I can't do that." Or that'll be the last thing you say.
As a soundie, I'd have to talk about the guys at Artist Concert Tours, Barney Deutscher and Co.
John Winchcombe.
Win Nelson. And Eric himself. Winchcombe, of course, production management. Eric and Winch. I don't know what was going on myself.
Let's not forget Ron Blackwell.
Yes, we didn't. If you were listening,
We were just talking about him.
yeah.
Well, not stuff we want to tell you about, but we were just talking about him.
I'll shut up.
No, he was a carny bloke anyway.
And everyone's kind of pointing at you, Howard, in terms of mentoring. Who did you look up to? Who taught you all this shit?
I think Eric was a really notable person in my life, and I think it's, wow, tearing up. I think it's wrong to nominate because you miss someone that was important. There were names in the net that were going to make me cry then, you know. One was B1, the other one was B2. Oh, sorry, wrong gig. Yeah, it's vodka. I think it's difficult to just list people because then you miss people. And I could look out here and go, there's some people that taught me shit as well. You know, some people that saved my life were fortunate enough to pay me and help me on the journey, you know. There's people you love in the room. So why would you pick people out? Let's just treat it as what we are, a group of family having a crack. And today's a really nice crack.
And for people who want to get into this caper, you know, and there's a lot of people here who've probably got kids and they're going, "Oh, road crew. Is that a good idea? Is that a career path?" I mean, there's a lot of courses these days and certificates. See, I knew that was coming. It's all right, I knew it. But from all of the chats I did with all of you and everybody else, it seems like those pieces of paper, whilst terrific to have, don't mean a thing. It's like get out and start moving some gear and setting up stuff. Is that how you feel about it?
Well, the industry has changed so heavily over the journey we've been on to what the industry is now. You know, it's entirely different. People don't overnight anymore. They don't get abused anymore. You don't get pack raped on the ramp of the truck. Nobody's doing a gram of speed to go to work. You know, there's health and safety. You've got to get 8 hours off. Pardon?
Extra wages.
I know.
Or pay. They can't afford gram speed.
Put your price up. Yeah, so I think it's changed so readily that the touring situation now is you're working for organisations or companies that can employ and support you and pay you super and do all that stuff. Shit we never had. And it's a different world to inhabit. The outcome is the same. You know, the video screens, if they're stuck together correctly, you can look at shit. But it's absolutely different. And we inhabit a world now where you go to a concert and it's got to look like the last video or the last representation that band produced and spent a fortune on putting on your TV screen. And if you go to that gig and you don't see that actual representation, you're fucking ripped off. So the difference is in 1978, 1980, 1985, you went to Festival Hall, it was a one-truck tour, and that was 28 feet long. The last lump of shit I put in Festival Hall was 548 semis, and that wasn't more band gear, I can give you a fucking clue. The venue was the same size, more toys mean less ticket sales, because you can't see through that shit, you know? It's totally changed. I'd suggest you keep your children at home, locked in a cupboard. Pardon me, we've got two in the business, and one's coming in England, putting Kylie Minogue stage drinks out. Good.
It's fine coming from you. Your kids are in the business.
You're getting confused. Won't fucking when they were 10. Of course they're confused. What'd you get for your 18th? A gram of blow and a fucking hooker. That's the truth.
At least it was a fucking hooker.
He's a lovely guy.
Well, that's right, but not all as loud as that chap.
We don't have ears anymore.
Really? I was just saying, with our youngest son, when he turned 18, he got a gram of blow and a hooker and a party in the backyard. So he probably thought the industry was a good place to go. He also did with us when his father came home from touring, that he would hide under the house for up to 72 hours while that purple-haired bald fuckwit came down from whatever event he'd been on and whatever substance abuse he'd reamed anally, stuck up his nose, in his ear, or, you know, in his eye. So I think he got it. Chuggy, you've got a child in the business, and would you stop yelling out, you're killing our vibe. Keep yelling out, son.
Ferg, if you had your time over, would you still do it? If you had your time over, would you still do it?
Oh, yeah, of course, who wouldn't? I mean, you'd be a liar if you said you wouldn't, but it's different pressures these days. I mean, like Howard was saying, in the early days, yes, the pressures were freaking driving and doing gigs in Melbourne and driving all that, but don't underestimate that everyone doing it now has it cushy. The bigger the act, the more people are lining up behind you, ready to steal your job and stab you in the back. That's human nature. So the pressures just transfer to a different way of pressure. I would do it again, but physically I couldn't. I couldn't. But you know, I mean, I wish not that we all say we wish we knew. But no, my children. I spent all my life away from my children. And they never knew anything. A friend I worked with, sent me a message today and said, I've been in the Air Force 20 years, I'm thinking about going back on the road. And I was like, fuck, you know, mate, you know, how are your children going to handle it? Because they have never known you on the road. And that's the essence with Howard or probably anyone. He said, your children grew up with you on the road. That's the life they know. They don't know anything else. But with my grandchildren now, I haven't been on the road. I could not go away from them because they don't know that and it would be heartbreaking to them. And I mean, it probably was heartbreaking to my children, but it's all acceptance, isn't it? What your life around you is you accept. My daughter would, I'd say, how long are you going away for, Dad? And I'd go, 6 weeks. And she'd go, oh, fuck, I'm not fucking, she wouldn't say that at that age. She probably would now, but she said, oh, only 6 weeks, Dad. But you know, on one Tina Turner tour, I went away to Europe for 10 months. I couldn't go away from my grandchildren for 10 days. So yeah, it's perspective, really.
I think though, you know, the era that we grew up in, I'm glad it was that era. You know, I'm glad I was a part of that time more than right now. You know, because we got to see the change. We got to be a part of the change. We got to, you know, take it to each next level that it's gotten to now. So that to me was the exciting bit of it all. You know, and that to me is what justified it all.
There's, I remember subscribing to a British magazine called Beat Instrumental and reading about Pink Floyd having a new 8-channel mixer. And that just did it for me. Oh my God. Can only get a 6-channel one in New Zealand, but we end up getting 2 of them and slaving them together to get 11 channels. And, you know, when you're a part of that industry, which was not an industry then, it's good to look back on that and to have been a part of it.
That era was really like when you tour old Negro acts and old black guys, and their answer is, when you go, how long have you been in the business? And they go, when I got into this business, there was no business. And that's where we started, you know, and a lot of people are aware of that. And it's a hell of a journey, and kids getting into it today. Yeah, I guess go for it, but it's a different world to inhabit. You know, you're pissing and sucking and moaning about your seat on the plane not being near a window, you know, instead of being stuffed in the back of a fucking van covered in gear and suitcases, and you're let out to have a piss at the ass. You know, it's a different world. Yeah, sometimes you're let out. Ah, yeah, sorry about your sock.
I mean, my kids had semi-trailers and PAs built of cardboard and stages, and they would play gigs and they'd, get out of the truck, you frickin' idiot! You know, and because they heard squirt a lot, you know, and that's all they ever said, you know, was a yell, you know, and so it's quite funny that your kids grow up with that perception of, you know, it's not Dad's. It's not different to them what Dad does. It's not until they get older, but you know, the things I remember being at Nova with my son and doing a line of coke, and he saw me do my first line, and I was like, fuck, you know, what do? You know, and in the end, you just got to be honest with them. But yeah, I mean, it's life. It's not a job. It's your life.
I just got to mention, when Fergie mentioned Squirt, I had to go and meet Squirt's parents and give them a letter saying I'd take care of him on the road because he was only a child. So I took him away from home, and the next day gave him a Rohypnol smoothie. And he was totally fucked up. That was the era. I don't think you can do that today. Unless you live in Adelaide and you've got a lot of money.
Look, I just want to say thank you to all of the panel, and sorry, we're getting the wind up. I think Mike Emerson, you got a song that you're gonna. You got a roadie? Yeah.
You need one?
Who are we after?
Eric. Eric. No, there he is. In the immortal words of Peter Green, I can't sing, I ain't pretty, and my legs are thin, but I can write songs. Well, at least I've tried. You know, a roadie song, because there is one, but anyway.
Eric McCusker, everybody.
No pressure.
Explain what you're using for the public, Emma.
Well, we have JB on one.
This is a customer. It's what it plays to my That's a music stand.
Yeah, thanks Terry for helping me out. And
We're going to get the crew on the stage for the tour bus.
anyway, yeah, this is with apologies to Bob Dylan. I wrote a song called Highway 31 Revisited. Highway 31, of course, being where Fergie is about to head up in a few hours' time. So, yeah.
That music stand is from the 1800s.
Just before me. We drive the truck to Townsville, we drive the truck to Perth, through endless miles of sugar cane and back scorched earth. Tonight we're going to Sydney town, Blacktown RSL. It's 4:30 in the morning, it's cold as hell. Already done one gig tonight, good old Village Green. The place was really jumping, they were hanging off the beam. We had to play security, kids jumping on the stage. You'd think we could afford to get the minimum wage. We call us roadies, we mix the sound and do the lights. We are the roadies, and drive through the night, proud to be roadies. And we're coming to your town. Our coffee stopping gun to guy, we're falling half asleep. There's another van truck heading south, who's in the driver's seat? It's Jerry G. He reckons that we're looking pretty tired, but when we hit the road again, we're totally wired. We set the band gear every day, pack it up at night. Amplifiers, guitars and drums, they've gotta be just right. And when the band is firing, the crowd calls out for more. We like to think we're getting just a part of that applause. The Blacktown RSL was just a faded memory. 6 tons of gear and all those stairs, Chuck and Mark and me. No lows, didn't plan my life this way, just a stroke of luck. I'm proud to be a roadie. Now get on in the truck. They call us roadies. Join in. Sound and do the lights. We are the roadies. Yeah, we drive through the night, proud to be roadies. And we're coming to your town. One more time. They call us roadies. They mix the sound and do the lights. We are the roadies, and drive through the night, proud to be roadies, and we're coming to your town. Thanks, Eric.
That's your song. Eric and Mike, well done, guys. It's interesting listening to that panel chat. Stuart asked the guys if they felt appreciated by the bands they worked for. It's interesting hearing their answers when one of Australia's greatest musical exports actually named his band after a famous catch cry from the roadie. I'm, of course, talking about Craig McLaughlin and Check 1, 2. Nothing. I got nothing from him for that. If you want to book the roadies that set tonight's stage up, their phone number is 2122 nothing. Okay. CR told me that one would work. Fucking. Speaking of Australian musicians, we've got another great one coming up right now. Are you ready for your next act, ladies and gentlemen? Want more than that, please. Go crazy and welcome to the stage, Mr. Ross Wilson.
Yeah, I've been around so long, we didn't even have roadies when I started. They didn't exist, and that's the truth. The first one we had was Scrooge. And look what that led to. Anyway, a lot of things have changed. Didn't even have PAs. We had we sort of did. Didn't have any fold back. Had a little couple of speakers each side. And, but now, I don't even have to have a band. I just go to iTunes and get backing tracks for $1.29 of the songs I wrote. Hit it. Your world is as cold as ice. Your world is so nice that you don't want me around. Your world is a barren place. That look upon your face says you don't want me around. I might break into your cool world, yeah, break into your cool world. I'll break into your cool world. In your world there are no regrets. Your goals have all been set. There are no more to be found. Your world is so well controlled. You will not be told. No, you don't hear a sound. Might break into your cool world, yeah, break into your cool world, yeah, break into your cool world. Somewhere way down deep inside, passion versus pride, walls are shaking in the tunnel, deep and wide. Our two worlds will collide if I am not mistaken. Cool and calm your world may be. Why do you believe that you don't want me around? I can touch you in a way. Cease to say that you don't want me around. I'll break into your world, yeah, break into your cool world, break into your cool world. I will break into your cool world. I will break into your world, break into your cool world. You're so cool. It's such a cool world. Breaking, yeah. Yeah, love them backing tracks. Hey, got a little song here which I wouldn't be here today without this song, and there's a lot of things happened after this song came out. In fact, the industry sort of exploded. I'm not saying I was directly responsible, but then some terrible things happened. It just happened last Saturday. I was on a boat between Lombok and Bali, watching on my AFL app. Terrible year for the Saints, by the way. Kind of Saints. And a team won the premiership. It was a great match. They sang their shit-out song about high-flying eagles, and then they played my song for the next hour. Now, mixed emotions there. There's my voice at the MCG over and over and over, and 100,000 people singing along. I'm stuck out, just about to land in Bali, watching on my phone. So I'd just like to remind everybody in Australia, I wrote this song. It does not belong to the West Coast Eagles. Hit me.
Stepping out, turn around once to the Eagle Rock. Walk over, your rock is fine. Give me one sign, just one sign to the Eagle Rock. Step over, rock is swell. You do it so well. Do it so well when you do the Eagle Rock. Hey, hey, good old Eagle Rock is dead. I'm just crazy about the way we move. Do it, Eagle Rock. Whoa, whoa, come on fast, you can come on slow. I'm just crazy about the way we do it, Eagle Rock. Come over, your rock is fine. Just give me one sign, just one sign to the Eagle Rock. Hey, baby, well, I feel so free. What you do to me, what you do to me when we do the Eagle Rock. Hey, good old Eagle Rock is dead. I'm just crazy about the way we move. Do it, Eagle Rock. Whoa, whoa, come on fast, you can come on slow. I'm just crazy about the way we move. Do it, Eagle Rock. Let's rock. Now listen, we're stepping out. I'm gonna turn you round once to the Eagle Rock. Hey, good old Eagle Rock is dead. I'm just crazy about the way we move. Do it, Eagle Rock. Whoa, whoa. Come on fast, you can come on slow. I'm just crazy about the way we move. Do it, Eagle Rock. Do it, Eagle Rock. Do it, Eagle Rock. Do it, Eagle Rock, rock, rock. Yo.
Give it up for Ross Wilson, folks. Great work, mate. Sadly, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the day. We've had a great time. We, of course, have a lot of people to thank. I have them here, and like a lot of you, I need these nowadays to be able to read them. Support Act would like to thank Annie Phillips, Nick and Michael Chugg, Howard Freeman, Dom Babudo, Phil Manning and Ross Wilson for their great performances. Tana, Jeff, Howard, Mike and Fergie on the panel. I'd like to thank Neil, Wed and all the staff here at the Thornbury Theatre, including the kitchen staff who put on a fantastic meal, the bar staff, the sound techs. They provided this whole venue for free for us today. I'd like to thank PBS for the donation. Marvel Stadium donated a table for some roadies to sit at. Selwyn Oster, Rod Laver Arena, Dennis, Irene and Judy for helping set up this morning, Young Henrys for all the beer I've been drinking backstage, Andrew Roper and Wine to the Stars, Michael Roseberry for donating a table, CR for the production. Where are you, CR? Down the side there. Chris, great job today, mate. Also, I'd like to congratulate Stuart Coupe on the book. Well overdue. Last but not least, thank you to all of you for coming out today, supporting this great thing. As I said, all funds today going to Support Act. We all love them, obviously. Hopefully you won't need to use them, but if you do, they're there, and the money today will be going. They have a specific roadie fund. I don't know if you knew that, and all the money from today is going to that particular fund for any roadies that need it later on in life. So thank you, Support Act. Thank you all for coming out, and we'll see you again soon.